I am an optimist, but also I am a critic of good governance, of bad governance. I like looking at things more pragmatically, and I can say with no contradiction that Kenya leaves a lot to be desired. In particular, we Kenyans leave a lot to be desired, Mwana Mzalendo. We just look at the scope and the scape that is our leadership. I was just able to identify like five within the scope of what we can say this is a good leader. And how many leaders do we have? We have over 340 something, I think, MPs in the assembly, in the National Assembly. We have MCAs, we have CSs, we have what? You know, and we cannot be able to identify even 10 or 20 of our leaders and say, these are good leaders. You know, how much can we say about Kalonzo? How much can we say about Rigathi Gachagua? Or is he speaking just because now he was left out? Was he genuine? You know, was he genuine? How much should we talk about Baba? You know, how much should we talk about Wamalwa? You know, how much should we talk? When we go towards the Baluya land, we can talk about Natembea. But is he tested? Is he a man who is tested? Or is he still a greenhorn? Because he just entered into politics. You know, we had people like Shikuku, those who are veterans, but yet they still went to Moi at the State House and wakapewa ugali, and their future and their future was never there again to be spoken about. So when we talk about leadership, go to Luya land. Let's say 50-50 we give Natembea and we give Wamalwa. But how much is Wamalwa? Let's go to Ukambani. The only person I've seen who is sober-minded is Kilonzo. His sobriety, his approach, and who else can we speak about in Ukambani? Let's go to Eastern. We cannot talk about anything about Muturi. He was a sellout. You know, the guy is just lethargic. He's lackadaisical. It just so happens that he just spewed some beans. How many beans? Maybe 3 or 4. We go to Nyeri. How many people can we speak about in Nyeri? We don't have a leader in Nyeri. Go to Muranga. Dende you can speak because he just kept quiet. But the person we can speak kind of kiasi that this can be a good leader is Kangata. Come to Kiambu. Kinadhongwa. Those are guys are just, they are not yet tested. Is it Kuria? So in a nutshell, go to Mombasa. There's none. Go to Mombasa. There's none. Go to Northeastern. There is none. Come to Nairobi. I can speak about Sifuna because he has been consistent. His loyalty, his oneness to purpose. I will speak about Sifuna. I will say when everybody is going one way, he chooses to be a maverick and speak in a different way. But is he sustainable? Sometimes I find him, he talks too much. He is abrasive. He is articulative, but he is abrasive. Is that enough for a leader? Is it okay for a leader? And who else in Nairobi? What else? Who else can we speak about in Nairobi? Basically, when you look at the scope and the scape, which is Kenya, there's nothing to smile about. There's nothing to talk about. I don't know, my brother, where we are going to start and where we are going to end. I'm always on my knees praying for our country. I don't know whether the two of you do.
Well, I can see Eli. Eli, long time. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Habari yako Jandewa?
Mzuri yangu ja Homa Bay. Homa Bay.
Sema tu Ndiwa, sema Ndiwa. Sema Ndiwa.
Mzuri Jandipwa. Yani because we come from the same area, Jandipwa.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I've been around. Sometimes I just get to watch, participate. I'm in so many different broadcasts. So at least twice a week or 3 times a week, I indulge. So anyway, I hope you guys are fine. I was interested to know if any of you had, managed to watch or listen to Ndindi Nyoro's speech in Parliament today. I caught
Yes, I did.
On YouTube, and
Yeah, I did.
I was wondering if this is the Ndindi Nyoro that we know. Honestly, I was impressed by this man, and without using a teleprompter, he was speaking, I think, from his heart and also from his brain cells. And it was a very, very powerful speech that can only be dropped by a philosopher, scholar. I'm still shocked. I couldn't believe that was Ndindi Nyoro talking. Anything he said connected very, very well. And all he was trying to do was to answer the question, what is Kenya? I would implore you to, have a look and listen to that speech. And I think if we had maybe we just say that he has transformed a little bit. And if we had a similar transformation from many Kenyan leaders, let me just put the video on. Saa zingine sitaki sura yangu mbaya ionekane. Haya. Sasa, what I was saying is, if we had so many Kenyan leaders, especially the younger ones, speaking the way Ndindi Nyoro spoke today, and I hope that he meant his words, I think we'll be very, 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 very far away from our current social and political dispensation. Honestly, I hope he wasn't hoodwinking Kenyans, like trying to call a spade a spoon or a spoon a spade. I hope that the things he was saying was not to collect a few likes here and there, because we are in the era of new media, social media. You wait for people to respond and say what you said. So basically, I would just I really, really, really was impressed, and I don't like his politics. I think we're made of different ideologies, but I was really, really disarmed, I swear, by the things that he said, and I'm not going to repeat them because I think you can access them on that parliamentary broadcast. Number 2, like all of you, I always try to look for a solution of, what is the way forward when we speak about our problems as a nation. But this recent altercation between Oscar Sudi and Edwin Sifuna, I'm interested to know what you think, because for me, despite ukarabati wa Oscar Sudi and all the other things that he has been accused of, I think he's one of the most development conscious MPs that we have. Now, to find someone like Edwin Sifuna, finding time to rebuke Oscar Sudi because of the level of education that Oscar Sudi has achieved, I think it's very sad. In many democracies, you find MPs who have hardly gone to school. All they've done is they've represented their communities, they were working in NGOs, or they were attending community meetings, or over time they have been doing things in the communities, and then when they stand for an elective position, people choose them. So I don't know why in Kenya the political elite and social elite and all those scholars are obsessed with someone's level of English and whether they could string a sentence. You hardly see or hear Oscar Sudi in parliament, but we get feedback that his constituency gets a lot of development going on, especially in education, healthcare, and so on and so forth. Now, can you compare that with the Senator of Nairobi, Edwin Sifuna? You tell me, what achievements has Mr. Sifuna to show to the citizens of Nairobi? Because that's for me, I would be more interested about that. I don't care whether Mr. Sudi can speak English, Swahili or not. That's not even a problem for me. We want to know, what is this man? What did he promise his people? And is he doing it? Or is he a failure like majority of our MPs? So this debate about whether or not someone can string a plausible grammatic sentence in English or Swahili is really, really sad, because look at the Chinese, right? And their development, conscious activities. These people don't, Chinese majority of them do not speak English. They're interested in developing their country, and their powerful international interests is to make profits out of developing other countries. Now, if you look at, I was watching Fanya Mambo the other day. I'm sure you guys know Fanya Mambo in Njuguna, who is going to stand in Dagoretti in the next elections. And he was speaking on one of the channels the other day, and I was impressed what he said about the Chinese. That for example, if you look at TikTok, in our social media, TikTok technology and other such platforms, our young Kenyans will be assembling in Nairobi on Sundays, taking videos of young girls, dancing and selling, twerking, and probably creating content through that. And it's the availability that the China has done through TikTok. Now, in Chinese TikTok world, they're busy comparing who has started, who is who is developing what, who is inventing what, and the young people in China are obsessed. That's what they compare, and that's what the likes come from. The likes they get on their TikTok. So what I'm trying to say is, when we talk about language, that we are criticizing each other, even in the Kenyan, social media, you find people attacking each other. People who've never met. Sema Kiingereza lugha sanifu ya Kiswahili pia, hatujui tunasema nini. But this person is trying to communicate, which is the most important thing. So I find that we can progress better when we appreciate each other, whether someone has completed school or not. You look at Joho, alias and Joho. I can't say too much, because on this screen we're warned that our opinions and our facts are ours. It's nothing to do with the Afrique 24. So for that reason, I will not speak about Joe's other adventures that he has been accused of in Coast Province. But what I will say is that the Joho who got D- in secondary school, has achieved a lot. He has nothing to show in terms of his academic career as a primary or high school student. But, and again, is a type of person I don't agree with, in terms of his role at ODM and the reckless nature of his term as a governor. But he has probably developed and created investment in the Coast Province more than many of the loudmouths we have in Parliament or other public sector. I was trying to give these two examples of Joho and Sudi so that we don't over-obsess about whether someone has finished school or not. We know that education is important, but it's not to die for. We can still have leaders who didn't finish school or did not complete school, but they can do things that, in comparison to those who have finished school, and if you try to provoke me, I can speak about our Nyanza. Our Nyanza is full of educated people, so-called educated people, especially those sides of game. There is that slogan that if you throw a stone in game, you could be injuring about 3 or 4 professors, just one stone, because it will land on anyone around that would be an academic or a person with a high, achievement in the classroom. Those are fake reports that we do to please ourselves in Nyanza. Because I believe that right now, if you compare pre-Kibaki and post-Kibaki, pre-Kibaki, the universities in Kenya were only around, I would say, 7 or 8. And then after that, Kibaki democratized education. He gazetted so many universities. And so it's hard, you cannot claim to be more educated than other regions of Kenya, And I'm saying this at risk of being seen as a sellout from Luo Nyanza, but that's not my that's not my mission here. My mission is to just say that we can support ourselves as a country by beginning to realize that education is there for everyone and not just other people to say that they're more educated than other people. I'm really disappointed with Sifuna's behavior, that Nairobians can elect such a person. Thank you.
Yeah, Giovanni, go ahead.
Well, let me say this, Ellie. Ellie, it's been long. We've not been in the same show with you. I think we were the first people who started this show, Kitambo, and I remember you. Do you remember me?
Kabisa sana.
Yeah. So I support you when you say about Dindi. Actually, I stumbled on his address today, and I was amazed and how he was articulating issues, how he was trying to come up with the narrative of the nation, state, and government, and ABCD. I don't know whether the speech was rehearsed or is something that was coming or oozing out of him, but I can say that actually it took me off my feet. I didn't think that he could be able to express himself within that concept, and I have always thought about him like just another cantankerous fellow, and those sycophants of Ruto, but maybe he's trying to kind of strategize himself and to put himself strategically for
you
leadership.
think so, yeah?
Huh?
That is what I was thinking, but then he kept on going and going. He spoke for quite a bit of time, So
Yes, he did. I thought so too, and the guy is young, eh? He's I think he's yet to hit 50, ni marika zetu kinda ama mdogo kiasi, but one thing you can be assured of is that he has made a lot of money. He is a billionaire. How he made his money, I don't know. How it's all about opportunities and grabbing the opportunities, but also
Giovanni, just
yes.
sorry to interject. Do you know Ndindi Njoro, when he was in campus, he was already a millionaire. He was doing construction work. So
Ongeza volume kidogo.
This guy when can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, when Ndindi was in campus, already he was a businessman doing construction work, and he was very rich. I could hear his stories from his college mates. But I can tell you that Ndindi has worked very, very hard. But when you hear that speech for Ndindi, it's not by default. It is where Kenya has reached as a country. And that's what I told you earlier. It is not by default. It is not by trying to please someone. Remember, Ndindi Njoro is one of the favorites of William Ruto to be the DP. His running mate. And William Ruto still admires Ndindi Njoro up to today. You've never heard Ndindi Njoro castigating William Ruto's government. No, you'll not.
Yes.
But Kenya has reached a point where people are saying, Eli is saying, hey, wait a minute. In my constituency, there is no development. But when I look at Kiaru, today I was looking, I shared a video of the development of Wamuchomba. Wamuchomba and the schools that are in his constituency. Then you wonder, okay, where are my MPs? What are they really thinking? Then that brings you to the point where Eli was saying, sometimes education does not.
It's not everything.
It's not everything. It is just an added advantage to leadership. When you come to my area, and sorry to say this, we are very political. We are the noise makers, and that's what I've been saying for the longest time. We are the noise makers. We are the know-it-all when it comes to leadership and governance. But when it comes to development, this is where the rubber hits the road. This is where we miss it completely. We don't understand it at all. So this is the junction what I was saying, that how can tribalism be helpful to the Kikuyu community and our politics be helpful to the community, to the Kikuyu, to the Luo community? You see, so if these two communities could work together at some point, and how I pray for that, then you will see a lot of development in Nyanza, because it is not rocket science that our schools are worse off. It is not rocket science that our roads are the poorest. It is not rocket science that our health centers are the worst. Yeah, yet our MPs receive the same amount of money. Yeah, the same amount of money.
Zalendo, when is the last time you had a look at Homa Bay Primary School?
I am in Homa Bay Forum, and the Homa Bay Forum, just the other day we chased Kaluma from our forum. And
Kaluma
I am telling you,
the Kaluma, the MP, or the Kaluma, a proxy, or the same MP?
The same MP. The same MP.
Wewe anaishi karibu na kwangu huko village. Pale ninajenga.
The same MP. When we showed, the photo of Homa Bay Primary School was shown by the alumni because most of them attended Homa Bay Primary School, and some of them, you know,
when did they share this photo? When?
They shared it in the group.
When?
Just about 2 weeks ago. It should not even be two.
Yeah, because
2 weeks
I
ago.
did a travelogue and a picture essay, and I distributed those last year around the last time I was in Homa Bay was in August last year, and I distributed those, and a couple of people from the county. Those are probably the pictures that I talked about. So you guys have done a good job. I'm telling you, it is horror. When you look at that school, that's a school that's supposed to represent Homa Bay town.
It is in Homa Bay town.
Let me tell you the funny thing.
It's in Homa Bay town.
Yes, it is in
Homa Bay
town.
Primary School.
It is at the
with
center,
a big name.
It is next to Homa Bay High School. It is at the center, and that is the school where we have the likes of Milio Diambo, everybody else went, including that Kaluma guy.
I went there for 3.5 years, and by the way, I can remember.
Eli is an alumni of that primary school. But when you look at it, I am telling you, the last time I was there, I didn't even have windows.
Wow.
Even me, I was there, Zalendo, I was there between 1981 and 1984 for 4 years, okay? And I remember those Kaluma types. There, Kina Dan Harrison, all those people, they went there. Kina Mili were way ahead of us.
If you went to the Dan Harrison, then Milio Nabona is from that school. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. They were in that. Those are alumni of that school. Kaluma himself, he knows about Homa Bay primary school so well, and he grew up. The worst part of it is a local. For us, we came from other regions. We came from Diwa and all that to settle in Homa Bay town as our major town. But him, that is his village. That is his hometown.
He's a local.
Mzalendo,
yeah, he's a local. He's mtu wa Kanyada. You know, huko ni kwao.
Yeah. So, Mzalendo, do you know the scariest bit about what we are talking about right now? Is
Eli,
the constituency. Just give me 2 seconds.
My voice inaenda chini. Let me log in, log out. Let me log out, then log in.
Okay. All right. I'll let Mzalendo continue then.
Okay.
Yeah, you see what Eli you brought up. I mean, this is what I share in our forums. The much as people hate me so much, you'd better be the only eagle that is flying up there alone, you know. But you are saying the truth. You are telling people what is actually happening on the ground. You saw it with your own eyes. You saw it with your own eyes. Is it our politics? Is it that we don't know anything? Is it that hatujui hata kabro inakaa aje inafaa kuwa? We don't even know how a toilet in a school should look like. Is it that we don't even know choo ya shule inafaa kuwa namna gani? Is it that we don't even know that there should be water in a school? Maji tu ya kawaida hii, maji hakuna mashule. Hii Nyanza hakuna shule iko na maji. Hakuna primary school iko na maji ya kukunywa. There is no primary school in Nyanza, public primary school in Luo Nyanza that has got clean water.
And we are surrounded by the lake and
fresh water.
You know,
Victoria to Homa Bay Primary School is about 1,000, maybe 3,000 meters.
It's not even a mile.
It's not a mile.
It's the largest. Yeah. Lake Victoria is the largest freshwater lake in the world.
Right. So, Giovanni, so this is what I was trying to say, and through you, Chair Mzalendo, what I was trying to say is this. The most shocking thing about the state of Homa Bay Primary School is that the constituency office, the CDF office and all that, is just opposite the school. and it's a beautiful building. I was so disgusted. I didn't even want to go into that office.
We just said the CDF office is opposite the school.
Yes. Man, and if you see that office is majestic.
Misplaced priorities.
Yeah. So
misplaced priorities.
What I did was Mzalendo, I could share the videos with you. You know, I could send them to you, man. I was so disgusted. I have been trying to find a way to mobilize funds from people over here in the UK and see how I can. Do you know, I got so desperate that one day I sent an email, an inbox message to Ndindi Nyoro. And I said, look, man, I see what you're doing in your constituency. Can you go and tap the shoulders of Kaluma and tell him to do the same?
What did he say?
No, you know, these people, they are these important people. They are personal assistants, the ones who read those texts, and they don't respond. You know, they would. These people, they would respond, but it is their handlers who don't respond. So that is the way it goes. But I wanted to give the example of Homa Bay Primary School because I don't know where you come from, Giovanni.
Yes.
And which constituency are you from? What is your nearest town?
Nyeri town, eh?
Nyeri. Now, if Nyeri is your nearest town, now can you please tell us how Nyeri Primary School looks like? Please tell us.
No, you know, Nyeri Primary School is in town, eh? In town we have Nyeri Primary, we have Nyamashaki, we have St. Mary's, we have Nyeri Baptist, we have Temple Road.
Okay,
we have like five.
Just tell us. The one old state-funded primary school. Is it not Nyeri Primary?
Yes, and Nyamashaki.
So does Nyeri Primary School have toilets? Something that you can call toilets?
Of course. Okay, I expect so because.
Do they have windows? Windows.
Yes, they do.
Homa Bay Primary School. 80% of it is windowless.
Even our rural primary school, eh? Our rural primary school that is in Marwa. You know Marwa. Marwa is where the Kendal Marwa highways is kinda in Amadizia.
Indio Nyeri Primary School.
Wow, look at that. Compare that with Homa Bay Primary. Wow. Can you imagine?
This is Nyeri Primary School. Nakutolea Homa Bay.
And then people will just say, Kikuyus looted the economy. I don't know what. No.
I mean, for how long? Exactly. They were in government. This is because they are the president from which. And now these guys, that was the reason why we had the 2010 constitution early. So that there could be equality. Everybody, you know, when Moi used to favor other regions, that is what was informed of the evolution. By the way, that is what informed the evolution.
By them Zalendo, there is a friend of mine. Unaona vile earlier amesema. Today there is a friend of mine who is a Luo. So he made a snide remark about that you Kikuyus, you have been into power for many years. I told him, actually, we've decided this time you're not going for any leadership. We don't want the presidency, neither do we want the vice presidency. Because every time tuko na hawa watu wote, they always look unto us, sisi ndio tunafaidika. Our brothers and our sisters back home. Ukienda nyumbani, at our shopping centers, utapata hapo kwa stage mavijana wamekaa tu, they are jobless. We don't have any economics going around. Kahawa ilianguka, majani ilianguka, maziwa inanunuliangwa na bei ya kutupa. Nilikuwa namwambia, you have a lake, You have mukona sugarcane is still vibrant. You have land. Kwetu hakuna land. We plant subsistently, you know. And you mukona climate, mukona land, you still have cotton, you still have pyrethrum, you still have inaitwa nini, miwa, mukona lake.
What are you counting? What are you counting? What are you counting? You've counted so many things. Are you counting? Yes, yes. Are we in the same country, or those are things that you used to read? You used to read in your geography books that you know the Lake region, they have got cotton, they have got pyrethrum, they have produced what? Please.
But Mzalendo, let's talk the truth. You guys, you still have land. Kikuyus don't have land. So you can be able to plant all those things. You have sugarcane, you can plant pyrethrum in large quantities. Like my friend had their home wakona around 14 acres. Hii yetu ambao si tuliachiwa with me and my brothers is around only 2 acres. So, and sisi hata ndio tuko na land kubwa. Most of my neighbors, they have just somewhere just to put up a house. The rest who are wananga hata anywhere to put up a house.
Nauliza, and people, are people still plucking off the coffee trees?
Now that's, I was getting there. In Kikuyu, in our home, I uprooted the coffee shrubs, because basically hakuna anything inatoka kwa kahawa. Majani kidogo, sehemu zile ambazo ziko na majani ndio huwa wanasaidika kidogo, but it's still not enough. So the main cash crops within the Central Highlands was coffee, and there was tea, and then there was maziwa, yani daily farming. Now you find that basically there's nothing that is economically being done within our region. Our boys, and in particular the young, the youth, they just, I don't even know how to say it.
What are they doing? Wanaendesha nduthi, the motorbikes or what?
The only thing is nduthi. But hata hiyo nduthi, si lazima
ukuwe na problem we have.
Si lazima ukuwe na kitu ya kubeba. So utabeba ni.
You know, Giovanni, you're like you're arguing logically, like you know, if everybody was thinking like you, then we would be very, very far. But you see,
there's something else in Zalendo, he said that we have roads, we have you have come to the Central Highlands by virtue of them using the highways. Ujaingia uko ndani. We don't have roads. Githongori, ask Mogo tomorrow. Githongori Road.
I've been to Mugo's village. The roads were pathetic.
We were with you. Yes, we were, and it just look at the proximity of their home to Nairobi. Imetengenezwa tu juzi. Last year was there.
Na huko ni kwa president.
Na ni kwa president. you know, really? When people, you know, me, I just keep quiet when people say, "Oh, we have this, we have this, we have the other." What Kikuyus, the advantages of Kikuyu where sisi tumesaidika ni hapa, that we always come together, we do a lot of harambes, tunainuananga. Harambes ndizo zimesaidia Ukikuyuni. So utapata mashule zinajengwa huku, mashule zinajengwa kule. Like where we come from, kuna high school ilijengwa na harambe, just next to the shule ile nilikuwa nasomea, you know. So sisi basically what tumeweza kusaidika naye is from our own pocket, coming together, building it together. Look at even wakatule tunafanyanga mazishi. Like when you guys start doing mazishi, like mnataka kupeleka mtu amekufa akiwa Nairobi, you take like almost 3 or 4 weeks. Kikuyus 3 days. Unaona, tuna mobilize resources haraka na mtu anapelekwa. And sometimes we even spend more than what you guys spend. So Kikuyus in terms of mobilization, in terms of finance mobilization were very up. But ati serikali ilikuja ikatusaidia. You remember the first thing Kibaki did when he went to Othaya? Aliwaambia, hakuna kitu ya bure. Mufanye kazi. You remember? And that was his mantra. Mpaka
And
kamaliza.
I remember
Uhuru, kidogo tutasema. Uhuru, he never, the main reason Kikuyus were angry with Uhuru was because there was no development initiated in our in our region up to almost to the last year ambao alikuwa natoka. That's where alianza hii Maumau Road ya Kibaki Road, hii double dual na zile zingine, na hata ni kuanza tu alianza, hazikuwa zimeenda anywhere. So wakatuleta Ruto alikuja, he never went on with those projects. You are saying something, Eli?
Yes, I said, I was trying to say there that, you know, Kibaki, like all those leaders, was not a perfect man, but
He wasn't.
One of his paradigm shift was when he was literally begging Kenyans, go back to your villages. Nairobi is full. Go get yourself busy in your villages. Nairobi is full. Go and do something. Be creative. Do something that is productive in your villages. Because I think the rural-urban migration is too much. It has to stop at some stage. Now, you spoke about your friend alikuwa nalalamika ati muko na hii muko na ile nini. Sasa unajua kule kwetu kule upande wetu wa Nyanza, South Nyanza ilikuwa inaitwa zamani. So there was this one guy called Orwao Jode. I'm sure that Mzalendo knows.
I know
former MP. Yeah. You know,
security.
Ojode alishikana na watu wa kila kabila. Kila kabila. Si yeye ndiye alikufa na Saitoti. Alishikana na kila kabila. Unaona? Alafu sasa post Cold War and every efforts that Africans were making in terms of agriculture, cotton, sisal, nini, tulikuwa tuna produce, na hata kulikuwa na zile vitu kama Kikomi, Rivertex, you know.
Yes.
Those things after 1991, those things just went down because the markets were open. Wazungu wakaanza kupeleka vitu zao kule China, kule for cheap labor. Orwao Jode thought out of the box. Akasema, hii region yetu hii hakuna factories, wacha nianzilishe. Akafanya nini? Akaleta ile factory ya miwa. It has its pros and cons, but what it did was it made even the poorest people who could try, they did try, and they start farming sugarcane, you know, because all we had in those days was Sony Sugar Company. And so in our region, we have this sugarcane company that sorry. Give me 2 seconds. My daughter wants me to help her with her homework. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Duty calls. That
so
is duty calls. Yes.
Yeah, Mzalendo, what I was saying, I don't know whether we should be hopeless about our situation, but also it is important we should be cognizant of the fact that as a nation and as a people, we have no scruples. We are not a god people. We are not a godly people. We don't. I was telling someone else a few weeks ago, like our MPs usually are not pruned from Nigeria or Uganda. They always come within us. Before, what we had Kinawaroru Kanja, we had Shikuku, we had Denge, those rights, Mulumutisia, and they were never better than what we have today, you know. So basically, they are always coming from somewhere, and they are usually coming from amidst us. So it's our society that is rotten, and it starts with us. It starts with me. It starts with you. And when
So
it's
Giovanni,
yes,
do you not
yes,
think one of my worries is when we're looking for this solution, how do we even activate it or implement it? Because I think, personally, I think that after the soft revolution that turned bloody on the June 25th last year, what I saw from that was that the young people in the rural areas did not catch the same fire, the same ambition, the same let us change our country for the better. And I think the same is happening now. In the rural areas, they're so disadvantaged, even though you find that even in the rural areas, 80%, 90% of the people have mobile phones, so they can access the internet. But of course, a lot of them don't have data, to continue with these conversations, right? Some of them may not even have the best, arena to get information. Say, for example, in the X, space. So I find that one of the things that the young people, and not just the youth, but mostly the youth, they should combine their efforts with wale watu wa ushago. Hizi vitu zinafanyikaga tu Nairobi and maybe Mombasa, but mostly Nairobi. By the time zimefika kule ushago, there is not that fire, for change. What do you guys think about this?
You see me, well, what I think about what you just said, it is what is worrying me, because I'm in many platforms, as in is Ushago, and you find that a pocket of youths understand the real issues, but majority of them would rather recycle the same incompetency year in, year out. One, it is because of our politics. The politics of those people in the rural areas.
Unasema wale wa matusi.
Ukienda kwa group za ushago, or you meet one of these locals wa ushago, try and interrogate them. They really know what development is, but they don't know that they are the ones who employ the leaders, They don't know. They have not reached a point whereby they can question the area local representative that, hey, wait a minute. Now, regions like Kisii and Kikuyu land, they have reached a point where their youths are empowered both economically, and they have got an idea of what development should look like. They don't care about what goes into their pocket. Although in Giovanni's area where he comes from, you'll find a pocket of them still asking for handouts from MPs and all that. But majority would go to a rally and listen to the leader and request for development. But in my area, where youths go for a rally, at the end of the rally, they get nothing out of it, but they request to be given some money for attending that rally. So what drives them into a political rally is the finance. That is why you see leaders from my region, they are so excited when they see numbers that these two leaders mobilized properly. So mobilization becomes the subject. So when mobilization has become the subject of our development, it means that the leader who has got more money, who can drive people to the stadium, is the one who gets attention in those areas. You understand? So development is lost. The idea of any kind of development is lost. If you go to Kisii, the MP passes through a poorly done road, the youth will stop him and say, hautukurudishi tena. And the reason why hatukurudishi tena is not because of your political party. It is because of this road that I need. I need this road, and you are not working on it. So we will give somebody else an opportunity to work for us, and because of this road. That is the difference.
Yes, and also you explained it so well, and also in our area, the chiefs and those government officials, especially the chiefs, they're still they're feared. They're still feared compared to in other parts of Kenya. So that the chief can also just mobilize youth and say, "Look, I remember that day when John Badi was nominated as the minister. I was in Homa Bay, and I saw people being given money to attend something." They were being given money by the governor's office right there in the town center.
Yeah.
To attend like a mini rally to celebrate Mbadi's
Mbadi's victory, Mbadi's homecoming, kind of.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
That kind of thing cannot happen in Kikuyu land. Never. You can never find that stupidity in Central. You can only find it in Nyanza.
No, exactly. However, I tend to kind of concur with what Zalendo is saying in terms of Kikuyu youth. As of now, we have a major problem. Our youth basically are mostly unemployed, disillusioned, and whenever there is an opportunity where they can be able to get, like, whether it is 100 shillings or 200 shillings, they would go to those rallies. But if a politician kind of passes by, they will mop them up and maybe wait for some handouts. Like, remember this guy called Wangoko? This is a guy who once stood for governor in Nyeri. So those kind of characters, they like handing out money, and whenever they are going through one highway to the other, one stage to the other, one shopping center to even now, they are perennially campaigning. However, your youth are a bit different from ours in terms of expectations. The Kikuyus, they wish to have a more of a semblance of proper representation, where there is actually there's some echo with it within my microphone. Have you heard it? It's disturbing. Within my microphone. Have you heard it? It's disturbing. Hello? I can't hear you.
I am saying, say something.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah, now it's okay. There was so much echo. So our youth, first and foremost, as of now, in particular within the Central Highlands, they are disillusioned. They are jobless. They have no land. There is no. They have no hope. They basically have no future. Most of them are schooled, are educated. Most of them have degrees, have diplomas, but they have nothing. They have nowhere. They have no land. And that's the grim scope of our situation right now in the Central Highlands. So the reason why Wamunyoro was able to wipe those emotions up is because Uhuru never addressed those issues. Uhuru never addressed the social injustices, the historical injustices, the land issues, the inequalities. Like in the Central Highlands, we don't have any factories. the factories which we used to have within Thika, they are almost now like they are non-existent. So I think this is more of an economical problem, not only in your home area, but also in our home area, Bwana Mzalendo.
Yeah, Eli, yes, I feel like just like you presented it, the youths have got similarity. Though unemployment is throughout the country. That is a similar scenario. You will not find employment in my area where I come from, Homa Bay County, and it goes across the country.
It
That
is.
there, unemployment is a big problem. But what we are saying is that what are the leadership doing about it?
They
See, yeah. What is the
they
leadership? Yeah, what is the leadership doing about the unemployment situation? So these are things that are not addressed adequately. And when you see politicians campaigning, even at the end of Ruto's term, you'll see nobody is coming up with the figures of the jobs that they have increased in the population. Nobody is talking about what the future holds for our youths. Now, Giovanni, the most interesting part is that the Kenya we are in, when we were youths, me and you and our friends, because we grew up together, enjoying the same things that we used to enjoy as youth, they still enjoy the same. But today's youth is more sophisticated than we were.
True.
The things that you think are so important to you, nakwambia, you will be shocked. You see those things that you're saying ati kahawa yangu sijui nini. That is not important to the youth. Ati nilingoa kahawa sijui unafanya nini. That is not important to them. Yani unamwambia ati akaenda apande inaitwaje mahindi. Sijui huko ati shamba yetu ya miwa, the way Lely is concerned about the sugar. That is not important to the youth. Then they know that if I get a modern job in technology, IT, I don't need that shamba. I can afford anything that I want. Do I need a good road to go to my village? No. Those roads, I need a 4x4. I can afford a 4x4. And that rain becomes important to me because when I go to my village, I find something different from where I live in the city. So that is not so important to them as the rural folks who are in the rural area. But if they become empowered and are able to afford whatever they want to afford, then that is what becomes the center stage. They are talking about nuclear energy. Hizi forum zote umesikia mahali mtu anaongea juu ya nuclear energy. How can we tap into nuclear energy? How can we get into, how can we get into AI technology that is coming in, and how will that be important to our youth in the future? Now, do we have a 13th parliament that even knows how to go about it? If just the other day, senators could not open a URL document. Wamekaa wametumiwa document ya internet hapo, wameshindwa hii kitu ni nini, hii ni maajabu gani tunaona hapa. Bring for us something. Mtata brought a document and soft copy. They are saying no, we need this thing in hard copy. Leta karatasi ndio tuweze kuona. So we are dealing with such people. That is why we say that not entirely the entire parliament or the entire Senate, but a good number of them should go. A good number of them should go.
Eli is speaking.
Eli, are you there? Because we are coming to an end of this show. We have done almost 2 hours. We have got 4 minutes. Eli, your closing remarks. I don't want to go beyond 2 hours. So that
before he speaks,
yes,
you've taken I've taken time to read some history and progression of economies and in particular societies from time immemorial, in particular even as way back as in before even Christ. And there is a consistent identity within any progression. That's where there is a definition between those who are served and those who are served and those who serve, and the ruled and the ruling. And when you look at the Roman civilization, you go back to the English, and that is the Europe civilization. You know, like you go back even to the times of the Eastern civilization. There is a certain progression. A society cannot proceed and cannot progress if certain tenets within its ruling is not properly attained and articulated. And in particular, as a ruling class, you cannot keep on ruling the majority while you ignore their cries and their needs. You come and make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you look at in particular, like the England, let's say like England, these it is these were a civilization which were majorly ruled by kingdoms. There were kings, there were queens. So, but the king was not just ruling alone. Alikuwa na rule through principalities and the princes. And the princes used to own land, and they were used to be called the landlords. So the land basically, there was the land basically was owned by the crown. It was called crown land. But the crown used to appropriate it to certain individuals who were lords over those land, and the individuals used to employ people within those lands. Yes, and within those lands, those people used to live and eat and work there. They used to be provided for in shelter, protection from security, and also they used to be given rations after working on the land from morning till evening. So they were used to be called the peasants, and the owner of the land, they were called lords or the princes, the principalities. So this thing went on for quite some time, and I believe there was a revolt, and after the revolt, there was an agreement. The agreement, you remember the Magna Carta? This was the agreement. Yes, this is the agreement between those who are being ruled against those who are ruling, in particular the king and the subjects. So among the progression of that society was that they had to institute a certain sitting called the House of Commons. Those were majorly just representative of the people within all the regions. And then there was the representative of the lords. They were called the House of Lords. That's where it comes from. The House of Commons. It used to articulate the peasants' needs and articulations. And then there was the House of Lords, which used to lord over what was agreed upon the lower houses. But within time, ilikuja ikabebwa na nyakati, so ikachanganyika. And but my point is that for that society to be able to have achieved where it has achieved, they were able to look at the needs of those people who are uko chini. But come to the point of us as Kenya, you will find that our needs as a society, as people ambao wako huku chini ambao wanakuwa ruled, our needs are not properly articulated, are not properly taken care of. So unapata tunanyanyaswa, tunafinywa, mali yetu inabebwa, watoto hawasomi, madawa tunatoa ushuru, madawa hospitali hakuna. So basically the only thing that is going to happen in Kenya is a revolt. Whether ilianza kidogo na watoto wadogo, but it is going to become a major major occurrence in the coming years. That's my closing statement.
All right, we are joined here by Kenya Maandamano Kamili Nyakairu. I don't know where that uko ni wapi? Uko tumeenda Central ama uko tumeenda wapi? Nyakairu, karibu sana. Huku ni Central. Karibu.
Asante mzalendo. Hiyo jina ni langu kabisa kuzaliwa.
This is now your real name.
My real name, Nyakairu.
Yeah. You know, you took us through all the tribes in Kenya at some point.
Yes.
And now you've come to a realization that even after trying so hard to unify this country to what you believed in, that is a tribeless Kenya, you have realized that we have gone back to our tribal camps. Tribal camps. Silently, we are going back to our tribal camps. What do you think about the future of this country and especially the leadership? Because right now we have William Ruto, who is on his way out. Who is this candidate? In fact, before you leave Giovanni and Eli and Maandamano Kabili, I want an idea of a president that among the political class, because we have looked at the technocrats, we have looked at the politicians, because this leader is going to come from a politician. Who is this politician who can lead this country to the next stage?
First of all, thank you so much, Mzalendo. Ninasalimia wenzangu, that is Eli and Giovanni. And the comment section, nawasalimia sana.
Salimia hapo.
Yes. Nashukuru kuwaona, nashukuru kusikia. Bado tunaendelea na mjadala wetu wa kuangalia hali na mali ya nchi yetu ambayo tunapenda. In fact, Kenya, it's my favorite. I am a Kenyan, a patriotic Kenyan who love Kenya totally in my heart. Mimi sijawahi kukaa hivi nikafikiria ati kuna nchi ingine ambayo ninaweza kamilisha mambo yangu ya kindani ama ya kila kitu isipokuwa Kenya yangu. You know, there are people who go foreign countries and they get settled and they forget where they came from, or they just say mimi nimefika pale nilikuwa naenda. Me, I've never settled with that. I have been always on my feet. I have been always having my bags packed that one day I'll go back to my country, which I love. And in fact, as you have said, Mzalendo, when I was going around our country with all these tribes, is because I believe that those tribes, it's the natural and the beauty of our country, having those tribes. You know, there are other countries which have got even more than ours, but tunatakiwa tujivunie hao ambao tuko nao. When you look at all these tribes, we are not the one who made them. We are not the one who created them. They are there naturally, being that they have their own traditions, and we must, focus on what they like, and we should not even try even a minute to change what they believe on. And so, what I'm trying to say, Kenya ni nchi ya makabila na haitabadilika. The only person who we believe is the person who will participate and bring all these people to feel at home, to feel that is their country, whatever tradition they are in, they practice it until they are satisfied. That's all what matters. Lakini kuja kuleta mjadala wa kubadilisha watu ati waache kuelewana na neighbors zao, huyo ni mtu ambaye hawataki mema, hata hapendi hiyo nchi. Because tuseme kwa kweli, huyu kiongozi ambaye ako this time, si amezaliwa akakuta hao watu, kuna wazee kuliko yeye, matribes wengine, amewakuta hapo wakiishi na jamii zao vizuri. Why do you want to destroy the relationship between neighbors? Na unajua huyo neighbor ndiye atasikia unalia, unapiga nduru, akimbie akusaidie. But when you start putting those boundaries as if you have created these people under your mercy, that is meaning that you don't care, you are a bad character within good people. And we say that good people don't look bad things happening. So the leader we have right now is a leader who does not know where he is heading to, na kuchanganya watu, na kukosa kupatanisha watu. You are dividing people according to your interest. Sio hata wakitu divide hivyo ni usaidizi analeta, sio hata development analeta, ni ile tu mdomo ambao anatumia mate mbaya ya kuharibu nia ya watu kupenda nchi yao. In fact, right now, people are going through so much pain. Hata kama ni kabila gani. Na hiyo kukatakata, kufanya watu wasielewane, inaleta hata shida zaidi ya vile watu walikuwa wanaishi hapo mbeleni. In fact, if you look back, Mzalendo, the way people were living related to one another, Mturukana na Mkikuyu, Mkalenjini na Mluya, Mjaluo na Mijikenda, people have never realized that it is being planted into us. The perception that we get from these leaders, in fact, we are the one who should call it off. Sasa hakuna maendeleo isipokuwa kuchambua na kutengeneza mambo ya tribes. What does that help? What is the meaning of tribes being segregated from one another? What is the benefit? So for me, Mzalendo, mimi hiyo mambo ya kuwa hawa politicians wanatuletea huo yani hiyo division, we are the one to refuse and say no. Mimi neighbor wangu ni kabila fulani na tumeishi, hatutatengana. So we are the one to make it to stop. We are not going to listen to these people. And Kenyans, if we do that, and it is able, we are able to do that. We are able to put a full stop, that we don't want to hear them talk about tribes. Tell us the development that you are going to do. Don't tell us about huyu ni Mkikuyu, huyu ni Mkalenjin, huyu ni Mluya, huyu ni Mjaluo. We don't want to hear that. We are all Kenyans. And the country we are looking upon is our country, Kenya. So for me, I would just say this tribal is being created for a political purpose so that somebody can earn his goal. Na akishaipata anawaachilia, mnaanza kugongana, yeye anaendelea kukula na kukunywa, maisha yake yanaendelea, nyinyi ndio mnaumia. So this is a time that Kenyans should learn and say, kama unakuja kwa mkutano kuambia watu habari ya Mkikuyu, Mjaluo, Mluya, Mkalenjin, please, we are not for that. We want to hear development and things that really deserve for a Kenyan to have, for the service that we deserve from the government. We are not requesting, we are demanding, because it is our right. Watu wametoa ushuru, kwa hivyo mambo yao itekelezwe vizuri, ndio nchi iweze kuendelea. So for me, Mzalendo, about tribes, that one comes from these politicians. And how many are they compared to the millions of Kenyans? They are just quite few. It's a handful. So hawezi kutukomesha, hawezi kutueleza mambo ile hatutaki kusikia. So we are going to rebel on this. We are going to refuse. We are going to stand on our grounds and say, mimi ni Mkikuyu, huyu ni Mjaluo, tunaishi na yeye, na sisi ndio tunajuana. And in fact, who suffers? Ni sisi two tribes. Hizo tribes tunaambiwa hapo as if we didn't know. Ni sisi tu tunaumia. Hao saa ile wanakuja kutuambia hiyo maneno ambayo ni ya ukabila. We are the only people who suffer. So we should not be carried like fools. Sisi ndio tunajijua na tunajuana. Wao hawatujui, ni kutukuta wanatukuta. And there is nothing they are going to teach us. We know everything. We know the tribes we have. And those tribes, matters for our country. So for that, I say tribal people should be scattered and thrown away from our forum.
Wow.
Yes, and looking ahead, nimeona kitu moja mzalendo kuhusu hii ODM. ODM, let me say this, as far as I have tried to focus and see what these people are doing. In fact, there are people in ODM who are very cheeky, who are playing games under the water, who are trying to push the narrative that Baba, who is Raila, is working with the government. And what I see is that kuna watu wanacheza mchezo mbaya sana kwa sababu wanajua Raila akishakuwa kwa serikali sisi tutaendelea kukula. But they are not standing for the substance. They are not standing with the people. It is only for them. If there is one ODM that I would shout and say is doing a good, cleverly job, ni Sifuna. I don't know others, but that is my opinion. But Sifuna is being beaten from inside by those who are kangaroos, who are looking just for a small crack for them to go ahead, staying there comfortably, but not thinking about the inhabitants of Kenya. If we have people who are really working so hard to see that they still stay in this foreign, very bad regime, it's some of the ODM people. They are doing very bad things and they are not caring where they came from. They are not caring who elected them. The only thing they focus is how they can stay there and do that for themselves, not for anybody. So what I'm trying to put here, Mzalendo, just understand me. There could be some kind of jealousness of some kind, but not really a jealousness of a kind. It's like whoever talks like Raila should step aside, not put his all feet in that regime. They are feeling bad. They are scared. They don't want that to happen. They want to stay there eating because already they have got seats that they have already captured. Na ni vibaya kwa sababu hata huyu mzee alipoenda huko si hatukufurahia. We were angry because he ought to have stayed with us until the last moment. But whatever game he is playing, we are watching. Na Sifuna vile anasema, tunasikiza and we are weighing it very much. Na kuna wale, mimi sitataja jina la mtu, hao ambao wanajifanya ni werefu, wanaharibu mtu ambaye anasimama kindete na watu, na anasimama na ukweli, na mambo yake yale yote anaongea. In fact, it is understandable, it has substance in it. Tunawajua na tunawaangalia. We know those people who are playing very, very good cards all for themselves, not for wananchi. Na ni wa ODM. I'm not an ODM person, but you remember Mzalendo, I was a good, honest follower of Raila, but akanitumbukiza kwa maji. Luckily, nikaweza kuswim, nikatoka kabla nikufe, na bado sasa nina breathe. Lakini ODM, please be careful. We are going to watch you and we know who I am talking about. There are several who are staying in that line of thought of being that we are continuing to eat, enjoy our life, but not thinking of where they came from. So for me, Mzalendo, those are my few remarks, but I'm very happy what I'm seeing happening. And I hope mtu ambaye ako na maono ya utu nchi yetu Kenya asimame na ukweli ndio tuweze kuendelea mbele. Asante sana. The only thing that is going to help our country, it's revolution. Hakuna kitu ingine. If things don't go well, it's only revolution. Hakuna kitu ingine. Thank you.
Wow. Eli, I don't know whether you agree that we are ripe for a revolution in Kenya. Eli, if you're still there before I make a comment. Oh yeah. Eli.
As far as I know, the revolution it's already on. That's what I know. It's been on for the last, I would say, 2 years. It's just been suspended and it's still on. It's a quite maybe invisible revolution. Even now, as we're talking, this is a revolution. I don't know this situation where we were talking about MPs and development.
Yeah.
My last comment is basically, if you, I want to personalize this. If you have any links with our Homa Bay County, Homa Bay Town MP Kaluma, please tell him there is a man from Liwa who went to Homa Bay Primary School. We're crying for something, from the CDF fund and all the developmental funds that is required to build that school, to rebuild that school. Tell him that he needs to put some action. He has a massive mansionette, over there near Yimbo Road area, And you look at that governor. By the way, I'm not just talking about Kaluma himself. The governor of Homa Bay.
Yes.
Man, have you seen Wanga's palatial home? Have you seen it? It's like a palace.
It overlooks the lake, or is it not?
No. It's in some rural part of Rodi.
Yes.
Just between Rodi and as you're going towards Asumbi, those sides. I am telling you, it's like a palace. Now, by the way, it's not just Kaluma, Wanga, all these politicians that we have in Nyanza. They've built huge palaces, okay? And then the schools are suffering. There's often that argument that it's not the MP's role to build things. But when you have like NGCDF and all that, and also other funds that come from government, the MP's office should be able to do something, So please look for Kaluma. Please, if you can find Moses Kajwang, tell him I said hello. And this one, Gladys Wanga. We need that school to be, something needs to be done. If they keep wasting our time, us will just call Ndindi Nyoro and even people like Oscar Sudi.
To do an Arambe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's all I want to say. It sounds petty, but it's a serious problem, one. It's serious. Eh? Me, I don't mind.
Eli, what will annoy you most? What are you what you've seen Gladys Awanga's home? These governors are building an hotel in Morocco. These governors are, they are purchasing hotels in Morocco, Rabat.
If you send me the details. Send me the details. Hizo niandike niweke kwa magazeti. Send me the details.
I will send you the details of the governors from Nyanza who are purchasing hotels in Rabat, Morocco, at the expense, and yet they don't even have a factory. Where have you seen the face of Kegoto factory? Did you see it? Eli, did you see that factory?
Which factory?
Oh my God, you'll die.
No, I haven't seen that, no.
Oh my God.
Where is it?
Kegoto factory is in Homa Bay County in Guasi, and this is the factory for milling maize that Raila opened the other day.
No, I have not seen it.
Oh my. Okay, you stay as I introduce Kip to come in and and say a word.
Keep Wamata. Keep Wamata Karua.
Keep. The only thing we like about Martha Karua is our consistency. Martha Karua is a consistency, and Martha Karua has stood with Kise BCJ, and that is a good thing. Me, so long as somebody is standing for what they believe in, that is a good person. Even if you are just standing alone. Me, when I was in those forums, I used to stand alone and tell you, hey, please, Baba, no way. There is something wrong with this Mzee. And I keep on telling you, I will not be surprised that in 2027, ODM is fronting Raila Odinga the sixth. I will not be surprised. It will not come as a surprise. Keep karibu.
No mzalendo, bado mi niko celebration mood bana.
I know you went off air. You went off air for some time. Why are you celebrating? Are you celebrating that Raila lost the AUCC?
Yes.
Why are you
Niligongwa
celebrating?
nilipewa matusi mpaka sijui saa ngapi.
You are the people who are driving ODM supporters to support William Ruto. Now that you are celebrating of Raila's loss, that is what the argument now. That you know, okay, this is the argument that you know, anybody who celebrated Raila's loss, who celebrated by any form or action, we are against you. You are our enemy now. So you are the enemy of Raila Odinga and his supporters.
I think Nyanza is as stupid as the South Rift.
That's what we are talking about right now. We have reached a junction where we have to tell our leaders, no, apana, atuende your direction. Because you realize, you see, as much as people vilify the Kikuyu community, there is one thing that we've been told in this forum. Kikuyus come together to build schools, to build, you know, whatever development that they want in that area. But look at us. We have been supporting the same leaderships for a very, very long time. And now, getting even a primary school with water in my county is a problem. A primary school with clean water is a problem. A primary school with just a good toilet is a problem. How you know, there's this Kalenjin guy who has been going around showing people development in central province and comparing it in Baringo where he comes from. And you see, we have got the same problem. The people of Rift Valley and the people of Nyanza have got the same problem of incompetent leadership. In some parts, incompetent leadership, and it is brought about by our politics. Karibu sana, keep say something. Ninachukua simu ingine hapo.
Yeah, we have very stupid leaders in Nyanza and Rift Valley. Yes, and now I think now we are all tired, but tribalism is being caused by the so-called leaders. Nimeona Peter Maluma, the dumbest person I've ever seen. Huyu mtu ni mjinga sana. He is the naitwaje Inoro. He's the same, not Inoro, what's his name? The majority leader for naitwaje majority leader wa UDA, the one who's been ousted. He's the same. They're just people who are thinking of their stomachs too, matumbo too. And I think I have three opinions as to what is happening with ODM. ODM is under siege. He's from Bomet, Professor, correct. He's not from Baringo. Professor is the guy who's been showing images of schools in Bomet compared to schools in Central. And it's true. Kuna hata hawa wakiiba pesa watu wa Central wanaibanga na kutengeneza hawa Ichungwa wametengeneza hiyo place yake na ile pesa ameiba hata unashindwa. Well, the lake region hamuna maji. You don't have water. Eli, I don't think you guys have water. That is why Maluma's teeth are like that. It's because of what do you call it? Hard water. Hard water is similar to what's happening to people in Naivasha. So hii maji ya borehole ndio mna depend on, yet there are rivers coming into Lake Victoria that you can harness water. You can harness water and feed and produce water for your people. You've got gold in Migori County. Migori could be one of the richest counties, similar to what you have in Embu. Yet you have wazungus from London coming to harvest your gold, waenda wana process Nairobi, alafu inashipiwa out. Nobody talks about it. Yeah, I think even that law of saying that the what do you call it, the minerals belong to the government is stupid, because the government is giving it to somebody else. A lot of land has been sold to the wazungus. Hata hii nini ya mafuta ya huko Turkana, that land has been sold off to the mzungus. They're just waiting for the optimum time to get a company that will come in and siphon that money out of us kama wajinga tu. Huh? So tukiangalia ODM, as I said, ODM has been the most annoying party I've ever seen kabisa. Na watu wanakufa tu nayo, they just die with it. So there's one thing I believe, either Raila is becoming senile and no longer has control of his party. There's one thing. The second thing is Raila is doing his usual thing, attend a holiday and Nyamaze, let his goons go pave way for his next stupid decision for 2 years before he comes in 2027 to be president. And then the third thing is they don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what the hell they're doing with that party, because they're going against the people. Which person from Nyanza wants to support? You saw Kondale. Kondale said that they don't want, they said chanting Ruto must go. But yet our people from the Lake region will be convinced otherwise when Baba akisema inaendelea. I think it has become a cult, a very stupid cult. Huo mzee atakuwa 83 running for president. Who the hell does he think he is? Me, I begin to think he's just a spoiled brat. There are a few aha moments that he did for Kenya, but the rest of the time he just behaved like a spoiled child. I think Jaramogi spoiled those kids because his brother talks the same. Stupidity, tribalist, kabisa, kabila. No kabila ambao waendelee sahi. These Gen Zs don't know about your mambo ya ukabila. So why do you want to subject these Gen Zs to... Yes, maybe there were horrendous things that happened to your tribe then. Are they affecting you now? Nasema Kikuyu are bad. Kikuyu ni wabaya. Then if these leaders are poisoning their kids with that stupidity. And it's the same in Central. Oh, Wajaluo, oh, cannot, hatuwezi patia, why? It is very stupid. And it's the leaders who are poisoning the people with this stupid tribalistic nonsense. Others, you find Kenyans having drinks, food, celebration, marriage, everything together as Kenyans. Siku ya Diwali mi naenda kukaa nakula chakula ya Wahindu. Siku za Ramadhan sisi tunaendanga huko kwa Waislamu tunakula nao. Siku za Christmas hao wanakuja kwetu. We don't have divisions. And I'm telling you, 2007, there's no time Kalenjin was saying, oh, we're going to kill the Luos, we're going to kill the Kikuyus. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. I just think that is why this thing went to the ICC. This was led by evil people. We've never been this tribalistic. Ni hawa tu. Now because wamechekelea sijui the so-called Baba. Mimi simwitangi Baba, Raila. We have to punish the rest of the country. There's nothing about punishing the rest of the country. Hiyo shida yao ni kwamba hawa wanataka kwenda kukula. And it's the same with the UDA parties, the UDA people. They're just tumbocrats. Now the UDA people for all this time walikuwa wameenda kwa Wamunyoro. Let's just give a fact. They had been going to Wamunyoro. There were a lot of them who were quiet until their committees left. Until wakanyang'anya makomiti ya Ruto. When the committees were removed from them, that is when they're coming to shout and scream like little babies huko. And now, before Ruto was a bad man, mpaka Ruto amepatia ma committees, amepatia just 4 CS seats. I was listening to another idiot called Omosho 1 hour. Ati sasa tunataka watupatie CS wengine wanne. Wewe na nani? Tunasemanga Wakenya walisha Kenya, lakini hatujaishi. We're in the same forum. Nilitoka huko Mzalendo, and you can see how brainwashed the people are. Some people I thought were super intelligent. Nakaa hivi naangalia Themba nashindwa, oi bro, this is, I can mention him by name because this is the semi-public figure. Naenda wewe kichwa yako, what happened? This is a man who's talking about liberation of Kenya. Kumbe inside it was just actually following the Raila cultism. Na naonanga wakiongea, niliona mtu kama Leo, your partner in Africa 24.
No, he couldn't stand, he couldn't stand the truth. That's the problem with some of these fellows.
No, these are fellows I was following, and I met them 3 years ago. Nakai, and I said, these guys are talking revolutionary stuff. And they don't understand. Some of us are following Raila for the revolutionary talk he had. Ile uongo alikuwa anatupatia. Do you understand how sweet what he was saying was? So
exactly. I know it sounded like, this is the man. This is what he really wants for the country. But deep down in his heart, he doesn't want that.
You see, hii kitu nimekuja kujua ilikuwa tuenda tukusiphon. Ilikuwa payment yake ya asisumbuane. EAC was a trick. I believe it's estimated now it's 30 billion. Ile mlikuwa mnaona ni 10, imefika 30. NADCO report was also another way to pay off these people, to keep quiet. Malipo unalipo through taxpayers money. Bill inapatiwana hata mjuu mnaambia don't worry
let me shock you. Let me just shock you what will happen after the AUC thing flopped. Now, these politicians are going to regroup. All of them stay in Karen. All of them, Kalonzo and all, they are going to regroup again. You see that NADCO report? And there have been rumors that, we want to give Baba now a position. After that loss, that Mzee has to be comfortable somewhere. Maybe the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, at some point. So that will be introduced. And that will also flop because it has to go through a referendum. It will also flop at some point because lazima iende. And if it passes, he might not get it. Somebody else like Uhuru might occupy that seat. I am telling you, everything that is being planned right now is just to ensure that the status quo remain, and Raila's political base is inherited. His political base. That's why when you see people like Sifuna talking, they need to get support from the social platform. Anywhere that you get, when you see somebody talking progressively as this is the future that we want for the country, we need to give them support. Yeah.
Why do you think that? Why are you thinking this will shock me? I already know what's going to happen. There are no rumors in Kenya. Kunanga rumor. He knew he was flopping. We saw it all over the internet. The day we saw him losing the election, we saw all these things coming. Tukasikia kwamba anaenda NADCO, sijui parliament. It was rumors initially, then it becomes true. So hata hii kitu ya prime minister unafikiria tunaogopa, tunajua inakuja. Hii kitu, the things about him building software somewhere in the background ni ukweli. Those are the truth. Stories zingine za sijui mobile elections, sijui ati elections will not be streamed online. Hizi vitu zote mzalendo, we know, like I'm telling you, hakuna kutoa Ruto. We anaenda mpaka 2032 if we don't remove him the way we are saying. You are the guys who installed him, but now how to remove this thing? This is the hardest stick to remove in the world.
No. You see, Ruto won with only 200,000 votes.
He did not win, mzalendo. Mpaka leo nitakwambia waliiba. And I don't know why you still believe that was a fair election.
You see, that is the mentality. I want you to get out of that mentality that Ruto
What
didn't give.
mentality? Mzalendo, the man stole.
The reason why we keep on saying that, okay, well, maybe he stole. Yes, he
Not
stole the
maybe he stole.
election.
Let me tell you the truth. Even just now, just telling you, I effing hate Raila, but he's my president. That is the guy I want to be here and tumpigie kelele because democratic. You know, Raila is one guy who's so weak that akwangi na plan B, kichwa yake inakwanga tu one straight line. Afikiriangi. When this guy was paying for his so-called agents, making sure he's protecting his vote, making sure he's infiltrated the system, Raila tu alikuwa dance tu hivi, anakataa kupatiana pesa ya kuchunga kura. I know it's a very ridiculous thing to say, but we're in a third world country and we're in a corrupt country. But that necessary things you need to do to be president. But all the time, this guy has always been ignoring kelele. Unaambia mzee usifanye hivi, anaendelea kufanya hivi. I was with my party leader, tumekaa hivi, mjamaa ashiki simu, kumbe anaenda kuongea na Uhuru. That was back in the day. Alafu kidogo kidogo anakuja kutuambia anataka kwenda AUC. So Raila is the guy who makes the dumbest decision without looking at what is the future. Nini itafanyika if I do this? Like, what did he expect when he did the AUC thing? Then occasionally, let me just give you something, Msalenda, that you'll realize this guy just does things out of feelings, not out of thinking. Atotokelezea once in a while and then castigate Ruto's government when he was doing the USC bid. Asema, oh, abductions are not good. But you kept quiet when they were killing the Gen Zs. Sasa ndio unasema abductions just because you've heard from other leaders that watu wametuma mabarua ndio unakuja kusema. You realize him atumiangi akili. Nikwambie kitu moja, Raila doesn't use his brain. He just used the popularity of his father and the time he went to prison to elevate himself. Yet looking at it, he's an idiot. He's a fool. Hii kitu ingine ya orange versus banana, he was not the only one. There were many leaders who went for that orange banana thing. But he made it so popular.
I keep on telling guys that in 1992 and no, in 2020, not even 1992, there were so many other revolutionaries, people who fought for this, people like Inakoigi Wamwere. You know, they are not celebrated. Gitobu Imanyara, Kiraitu, those are people who fought for the liberation and the constitution. Now, the people who wrote the chapters of the constitution, they are nowhere. Raila never wrote any chapter of that constitution. There are people who have been detained, jailed because of fighting for the country in just the same measure, but they are not celebrated. You see this guy called Gitobu Imanyara, he was with Kina Raila. This guy called Kiraitu, what walikuwa na Kina Raila during the last liberation that we saw of the new constitution. And the new constitution came. The people who are fighting for Moi's government are so many. People like Wangari Maathai, stripping naked. Apart from just being an environmentalist, she was fighting. Martha Karua. Those are the people who fought for the constitution. But are they celebrated? They are not celebrated because they has stolen the show. That yeye ndio alikuwa pale katika center stage ya hii liberation. But having said that, Raila miscalculated the moves to go to AUC, and it was his idea. It was not Ruto's idea that Raila goes to AUC. The way people are saying, it was his idea. He felt that, okay, fine, you guys have tried locally, wacha niende huko. But the thing that his supporters do, that is very bad. He would have just gone quietly, just like the way Amina did, lose the election quietly, let people not know, and let the world not know. Just the way the Djibouti guy was just campaigning. Anataka campaign tu na kaidi moja na briefcase na anaenda nchi zingine. Anaenda na laptop na nini, akikuja pale AUC anakuja na bibi yake. Lakini mmepeleka ujinga wa Kenya wote kule Ethiopia. People are crossing roads in Ethiopia drunk. Wamelewa ati sisi tunaenda nayo. Yeah, as if it's a Gor Mahia match. It is not. This was a diplomatic election. Watu 50 countries voting. 50 peke yake wanapiga tu kura silently wherever they are. Ndio hii kura yangu, ndio hii na wameenda. What was the big issue of Kenya going with a delegation to Ethiopia? For what? Nonsense. They should have even waited at the airport. Wangojee baba arudi, kama ameshindwa, kama ameshinda ni sawa. So we hype things that are not so important to us. Not so important. Sai baba is coming back in a grand reception. Ngoja uone how governors are going to spend and mobilize money for his grand coming back to the country. And what is he going to say after he comes back is so important to his electoral base. Very, very important. He must say something when he comes back. And it will be a political direction for his political base.
I support Ruto 100%. Ruto is the guy. Tutaambiwa sijui Ruto alimsaidia. We'll be told all those things. And then that is the end of my support.
That marks the end of your support.
Watu wenu, hata see the end of the support. I'm just saying, reliance on this stupid party called ODM. Because they are the official people that's supposed to be helping the people. But nimeona
now,
sasa mbaya
now
sana.
keep
The
and
only opposition are people outside parliament now. Hakuna watu wengine.
I want to put a question up to you guys, and this is how I see we get confused on how to elect a good leader. I have seen people floating Matiang'i, people floating many names from the political arena. But why can't we say that we don't have somebody to face Ruto at this particular moment? Of all those people I'm seeing in the game, nobody can face Ruto successfully. And we, the political people who are opposing Ruto, should come up with a candidate that is not apolitical, is a technocrat, and he'll be supported by Kalonzo, he'll be supported by any other player who is opposing Ruto's government. Do you think that idea can work?
No. Let me let the other guys talk, but it is no.
Eli, say something.
Populism. Let Eli talk.
Kwanza mi nataka kusema kwamba kwanza first wacha ni rewind kidogo. Mzalendo mama yule Wangari hakufanya vile umedescribe. It was the 6 mothers of political prisoners, kina mama kina Koigi wa Mwere. Wangari was there at the during that sad protest when the women protested by revealing their bathsuits, but she was not one of the women who undressed. So just a point of correction there. In terms of that question about, yes, what you said about Matiang'i and all these people that are being mentioned as the possible candidates. To be honest, I don't really see any person credible now that we have who are purporting themselves. I don't see. These people have been in the system, and they could even be worse than Ruto. We know Matiang'i's record. Some people say that Matiang'i is their ideal candidate. For me, I don't have time for anyone who has violated people's human rights, including, killing, hundreds of people during the space of time he was working as a minister. So I'm also saying that the person that we need should be something that reminds us of 2002. That general election when people thought that Moi would not step down, or he would straight away give the baton to Uhuru, even if Uhuru did not win. That's what people thought. But the opposition at that time was very strong. And I think if we have a person who leads a movement such as that, that person right now, we still don't know who. Honestly, they're they're trying to. I'm ready to forgive some people. I'm ready to forgive some people who have let us down. It doesn't matter which political parties they are. For example, when I see Martha Karua's activities in Eastern African courts, especially how she's, representing Kiza Besije, I am seeing a different Martha Karua. I am ready to forgive such people. In fact, personally, I voted for the Karua Raila, alliance because of Martha Karua. I'll be honest, because I thought that this might be something, because I remember Karua saying that tukiingia tu hivi nimepatiwa kazi ya deputy president, alafu ile ya nini, ile ya justice pia ninachukua, watu wanaingia jela, wale wakora wanaingia jela wote. That impressed me. So actually what I'm saying is maybe we should relook who we have, and we should be ready to assess these people. Have they changed? Are they better than what they were before? Otherwise, to be honest, that question is very important. Who do you think that can change that country right now if Ruto calls elections tomorrow? I really can't see. Because number one, there is an effort there. Ruto is going to rig, yes. But the coalitions that are there right now are so divided as well. And everyone thinks they're going to get the prize. And then you've got all these small timers like Nelson Havi, yeye pia anasema anataka kusimama kuwa president. Sijui nani ule wa kutoka Turkana. There are all these people who are going to try and stand so that when a coalition government is appointed, they hope to be getting a job as a minister. Honestly, I don't see any person credible right now if the elections were called tomorrow. Either Ruto will rig massively, or the coalitions, the opposition will be totally unprepared. I definitely don't want, and me personally, I want nothing to do with Rigathi Gachagua, because that was the combination that has brought us this problem, him and Ruto. I want nothing to do with him. The good thing I like about Rigathi Gachagua is the fact that he's feeding us with so much information that is unprecedented. This is brilliant for the movement. But other than that, si tunangoja hii March ndio alisema atalipua tujue ni nini anataka kusema. Lakini if it was the usual, ati now yeye ndio will marshal people to remove Ruto. I just don't. Do you know that even when you hear Rigathi talking about Ruto, there is a side of him which is quite cautious and a bit like still pro Ruto. Baka, you think, is this guy for real? I think it's that kind of thing where all of them are afraid that Ruto might, trigger NIS and NSIS and start arresting these fellows because all accused of past historical offenses. And I think that's why most of them are really afraid, especially people like Rigathi Gachagua. I don't really see a candidate right now. You give me a name of a candidate, and I could dismantle that candidate completely by saying this is what they did, and I'm sure all Kenyans are the same like that. Okay, so point 2 is possibly it's going to be the young people. Maybe we might get a candidate, a compromise person coming from young people, but who? Again, I don't know. This guy I keep listening to, Fanyamambo Njuguna. You know, that guy is just, if we have like Fanyamambo Njugunas in every county, we're definitely for a good president, you know, that we're going to get, you know, if we have such people in our political landscape. He represents, he doesn't say that he's a socialist, but he's a lawyer who is not interested in the commercial part of it. He's more of an arbitrator lawyer. And he also goes for cases which affect the poor people. And he's often trying to get out of court settlements and things like that. But he understands the constitution so well. He understands Kenya's landscape, political landscape. But again, someone like Fanyamambo Njuguna, who is standing in Dagoretti, if he decides that yeye pia anataka kuwa president, watu watasema ati, oh, we don't want another Kikuyu, because that's the problem now we have. People, you know, the same way Uhuru Kenyatta, when the hustler dynasty narrative was being spoken about, Uhuru advised Kenyans, okay, so as we are the rich people, we are being told that we have wasted this country. So when are we going to have leaders from other communities, you know, preside over this country? My last point is the presidency. I think we have enough devolution to concentrate on the counties. And then the next thing is that in the next parliament, I'm sure it can't happen now. If it happens now in terms of a revolution, yes. I hope that what we can do is that the presidency to be demystified, it should not be a presidential system that we have now. We need to have a strong parliamentary system with a prime minister who is hopefully appointed by the majority leadership of that parliament, because everything that we're going to go through for the next 10, 20, 15, 10, 20, 30 years within an executive presidency, a presidential system, this is still going to be our biggest problem. I mean, I had Zachary Onyonka's son the other day. What's the name of this guy? Momoima Onyonka of Kitutu Chache. This MP was speaking in Parliament, and he said that he was telling us a history of how he would go to Moi in Kabarak or Nakuru State House to beg for money to campaign to be elected. He said it, wazi, kabisa. And his point was that this was the past. We need to change this to something else. Someone like Onyonka was clearly saying that the presidency, the executive, the powerful presidency, the presidential system makes Kenyans do things like this, where they go to State House, or the president, at the pressing of a button, can say, I want people from so-and-so constituency to come to State House tomorrow, and people will be bussed there. These things will not happen if we have a ceremonial president. It's been tried in many countries where a ceremonial president is a ceremonial president. Then Kenyans will not be this divided. Hautasema ati ule sijui ni mkora anatoka sijui kabila gani sijui nini. Hizo zitakuwa zimetupwa mbali kabisa. So that is the part of the constitution which I think really needs to change. And then we can probably say that things will change for the better in terms of governance. Because that prime minister in a parliamentary system, there will be a lot of checks and balances. It's not that prime minister that we had in the Grand Coalition government. No, this would be a very strong substitute of what we have now as an executive presidency. Thank you very much.
Wow. Kenya Maandamano Kamili, you've heard from Eli. Can you say your last word? I'm just winding up. Kenya, before I comment on what Eli has said, Eli, my kind of president that I want is somebody who would come and say, yes, I want you to elect me, but my first job would be to cut the government into half, and the salary and my salary will be cut into half, and all the MPs' salary and the benefits will be cut into half. That is the kind of leader I want. And if we have those people, if I can float for you a name, if you get some good support, people like Maraga is still a clean man, and Maraga resonates very well with the people of Kenya. People remember Justice Maraga so well. So if he can come up and then is deputized by a young leader, a Gen Z should be the deputy president of Kenya, a young leader will deputize Maraga, then I can tell you that leader will carry the day. So that's my opinion on that. When you asked whether we have got somebody who is clean, I think Maraga is clean and not very clean, but he resonates very well with the people of Kenya, and people remember him for the good reasons. You know, there are some leaders people don't remember, but Maraga is remembered for the good reason. Kenya maandamano kamili.
Asante mzalendo, nimewasikiza, nimesikia choice yako. Today I'm not going to front anybody. Mimi nitanyamaza kwa sababu wangu nitamficha asije akanyemelewa. Kwa hivyo mimi nitamweka tu huko kando, because I know there are a lot of hyenas going around.
Eli is here. Hiyo ndio kazi yake. He's waiting.
Yeah. Early today, I'm not going to give you the name of who my choice is. I'm just going to keep it pending, because I know the moment that guy will stand up, hata wewe mzalendo, you'll change your mind. Utanifuata. Lakini siku hiyo ingine tulikuwa tumefuata yule tulifuata, tukaflap. Lakini this time round, I think people are serious. They have faced a lot of problems in Kenya. Na hata saa hii watu bado wanaendea shida. And so they'll be looking for someone who will come and stop all these shenanigans that are going on in our country. Everything that is happening in Kenya right now, it's a sham. It's a very bad thing. People are not enjoying. People don't know what is the next step, because we are doomed. Na huyu mtu sasa si kazi anafanyia watu. Sasa yeye anatafuta vile anaweza jisafisha awe ati mtu wa kupendeka, but nobody is ready even to listen what he want to say or what he is trying to do. Do you know right now this man, even if he come ajenge hiyo mabarabara alikuwa naimba hiyo wimbo, nobody will even want to know whether he has done it or not. People are fed up. Now, there is no trust that I believe Kenyans can have with such a person. Once you break trust, actually to amend it, it's a very hard task for you to do it. So Kenya right now, they are facing to see somebody who is articulate, somebody whom we know, a performer, somebody who can stop all these things that are going on and start a ground that really will rub or take away all the miseries that people have gone through, and we start building our country. Kuna kitu nimeona hiyo, kwanza watu wanasema habari ya kukatwa pesa za nyumba, ati kwa mshahara yako ndio uwe na nyumba. Do you know the other day they announced that is not even for the house, it is tax. Sasa hiyo ni kuibia watu, kuwaweka pahali ambapo hawakuwa wanafikiria. But furthermore, they were not even interested with that levy. People had refused, but they have been forced to contribute those money. And now it has changed from the dream they had, maybe, which they were being forced to dream. It is shattered. It's gone. Now wanaambiwa ati ni tax. How painful is that? How would you feel a government that tells you this money will help you tomorrow, and then you find that it is not even the money you were promised. It is gone. That is stealing from the people. And how do you go fighting to get this money back? No way. Kuna mtu ambaye niliona jana alikuwa anasema, sijui ni yesterday but one I think, mwenye alikuwa ameweka pesa kwa bank. Anaenda kwa bank, amefanya kazi, amejitahidi, ameweka pesa kwa bank. Na kwenda huko anataka hizo pesa ndio atumie. The bank is telling him, hakuna pesa. Now, what kind of a shock is that? Ni nani anaweza furahia situation kama hiyo? Hakuna pesa, zimeenda wapi? Sijatoa pesa, nimeweka hapa ndio matumizi yangu, ikifika nije kuchukua. Hakuna pesa, niende wapi? Can you take a bank to court? How long will it take for you to get an answer? So you see, all these problems are being created, na zitaendelea kuwa nyingi, na bado ni nyingi. Look at hospitals, look at those SHA chief. Nothing is working. Nimeona kuna kitu ambacho sasa kinaendelea. Doctors have denied people services who have a SHA card because it is not working. It has no money. So whom should we complain to? It's the same regime. Kwa sababu wao ndio wamepanga hizi vitu. Na mimi hata nilishindwa. Why couldn't they have health insurance for on top of what people have? Watafute market, wauzie watu, lakini wale wako NHIF waendelee kuwa huko. Hiyo yenu muifanye iwe mzuri zaidi kuliko NHIF. You know, you convince people to move from their NHIF to SHA rather than abolishing NHIF and moving people to SHA without even their knowledge. Ati watu walikuwa wanatumiwa message, wanaambiwa congratulations, you did not apply, you did not even sign, but now you have been moved from where you know to a destination you don't know. So all these things, we hope to get someone who is really sitting down and watching all those bad things that are happening in Kenya and write them down, get ready, know which way to go to take care of all the problems Kenyans are facing. Because I don't see how watu vile wanatuambia hapo wanatufanyia kazi. It is not their money from their pocket that they are doing these services. It's the money allocated by the government. It's the money that is coming from the people who are contributing. Kwa sababu taxes zile tunalipa zinatakiwa kuservice the country so that the country can stand. Wasiwe wanatuambia ati tuliwajengea barabara. No. Hiyo barabara lazima iwe, sababu we deserve that. The money that is there is for the public. It's to do the good job for the people so that the people can live nicely and comfortable. So hii mambo ya promise ati tutajengewa barabara, hizo sio pesa zao wanatoa kwa mfuko. Si ati hivyo wanatuambia habari ya hospitali ati watatoa pesa, watatengeneza. It's not their money. If it is their money, then we will be all dead because they cannot share it with us. Ebu imagine watu ambao wanakula pesa ya serikali, urudi ujiulize kama ni yao ingekuwaje. We could not get anything. So people stand up. Let's have a common goal and think how Kenya can stand. And once we frontier our good man, our good leader, not a dealer, we stand with him completely, and we can make it. All in all, our country will come to stand. Mimi hiyo ndio nitasema, nikiomba Mungu atujalie tuwe na umoja kati yetu ndio tuweze kujenga hii nchi. This country is so easy to build. I wish I can be given that work. However, how I am a lay person, but I know all these things they have done, it's just intentional complications that they have done to our country. There is nothing, there is no problems in our country. It has been intentionally created by these leaders. Asante Mzalendo, thank you for the show, and I hope Kenyans will come up and join the movement. Asante.
Thank you very much, viewers. We come again to an end, and we wrap up today's insightful discussion on the way forward for Kenya. It is clear that this journey has got many hurdles. We want good governance and national development across the country. We have talked here with Eli about wastage in government, underdevelopment in counties like Homa Bay, and we are here to strengthen the institution and for transparency. So that we can have economic growth across the country. We must remember that each and every one of us has a role to play in shaping the destiny of Kenya. So let us continue holding our leaders accountable, stay informed and engaged actively in governance as a process of eventually getting transparency. Together we can make a difference in our country. So thank you for being a part of this discussion. Thank you for my panelists. They have given very valuable contribution. And to our audience out there, if you have not subscribed on Afrique and you are watching us on Tembei, please do so. Subscribe on Afrique 24 on YouTube. Follow us on X and our Facebook page so that you can have some insightful discussions about our country. Otherwise, good evening wherever you are. And for the guys who are on the comment section, awesome, you didn't disappoint as usual. Black, I've seen you around, and we hope that you'll join the panel. And who else was in the discussion? And of course, we had Asili TV. Asili TV, karibu sana to Afrique. Make sure that you climb up the panel. Alex Ogega, thank you very much for staying tuned. Elimu TV show, karibu sana. We need you to invite us to Elimu so that we see what you're doing for your country on the other end. Otherwise, from Kenya Maandamano Kamili and the rest of us in the studio and the crew that was staying behind the scenes, kwaherini na tuonane kesho.